40, 50 feet from the ground and cause concussion, blow your brains out. You know what I mean?
And you would drop how many of those at one time?
Well, whatever, 40 pounds each bomb. They came out in clusters, though.
Oh, I see.
Because they spread out and cause percussion at altitude, but it didn't do any good when we were hitting those with Saipan because they were all underground, tunneled into the.
Oh,
they lived under there.
They were smart. They got away from you.
A lot of labor, but they were, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So how much can a B-24 hold?
I think the most we ever carried was on one mission, but it wasn't very long, was 16,000 pounds. But we were carrying 2,000 pounders, see?
Right.
So I think each one, let's see, that'd be 4, 8, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think there was 8 of them. But that's all you could carry, I mean, that much tonnage. But very rare.
Did you ever drop so much you ran out?
Huh?
On a mission, did you ever drop so many bombs that you ran out?
You ran out?
Yeah.
No, we knew exactly what our load was going to be and what the target was.
You never had to disperse all of your bombs?
Yeah, we always did. What are we going to keep them for? Unless they got hung up in the racks, and that happened a couple of times.
Okay, yeah.
Then you'd have to kick it out and be sure you didn't fall out with it.
Right.
I didn't, but the other guys did.
How many rounds of ammo would be on the plane?
I used to get 250 rounds for each gun.
How many guns did you have?
2.
And how many guns were on the plane?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
10 guns.
No, 10, 11, 12. They had 2 of them were 30 calibers. They were under the turret on the front. The bombardier could shoot them.
Okay.
But normally the front turret had 2. My upper turret had 2. The Bendix on the bottom had 2. The waist had 1 apiece, and the tail had 2.
Did you ever have to take anyone out? Did you ever shoot any plane? Did you ever get one?
Well, they claim I did, but I think that they were trying to give me a little hero shit.
Oh, you don't
always
think...
thought I was God's gift on that airplane, see?
Yeah.
Well, they saw it smoke, and they thought I had hit it.
Oh, okay.
But I think the guy was pouring on the coal to get the hell out of there, more than that.
Was it a 0?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was quite a ways out.
But if they came up to you, they were faster and quicker and...
Yeah, but you know, we got them once in a while, but they weren't as aggressive as they were at the very beginning of the war. And in our area, it was for the simple fact that you got to be aware of the thing. Ours was not to bomb like in Germany and Europe, all over, whatever, not Australia, but in the European continent, they went after like manufacturing. Those islands didn't have anything. It was their supplies we used to cut off so they couldn't survive.
Okay.
They couldn't get fuel, they couldn't get oil, they couldn't get food, they couldn't get ammunition, and that was what our job was, is to just keep them. So that was why we kept bombing the hell out of them. But we weren't knocking them out, and so finally they'd only be limited as to how long a fighter could come up and stay because they didn't have the fuel.
Right.
At least that's the story. We weren't counting it, but we knew that's what we were after.
But your job was to knock out everything to make
the bombing was out there. We were to protect the payload.
Right. Away
from opposition. We couldn't do much over the target except hope they didn't get our altitude and our speed. See?
Right.
And without radar in the beginning, we were safe. Today, we'd been all gone.
Right.
So, but
how long were those missions?
I flew. The shortest mission was, I think, around 7 hours and something round trip. The longest one was 19 hours round trip.
19 hours.
Oh, it's a long time for a bunch of young guys to be flying in a beat up son of a bitch. Carried 1,000-pound bomb. 4,640 gallons of 110 octane fuel in that airplane. All you needed was one good shot in the middle, and we were just...
Yeah, the airplane is a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd probably knocked all our airplanes out of the sky, and the fighters had been safe.
Right.
I mean, the enemy. we never had fighter escort,
Right.
because they couldn't stay with us. We flew too long a missions, and so it wasn't like in Germany.
What's your top speed?
Well, with minimum load and a crew at 5,000 feet, we could do. I did one time just screwing around. Our pilot and us, we weren't flying our mission, and we did 307 miles an hour.
And what's your average speed?
160.
That's what you would cruise at.
And we'd cruise at 160. Below 140 with a load, you were in trouble. 110, you could stall out and never recover a B-24.
Oh, really?
You were history.
Done.
You couldn't get out. They just go into just terrible. You couldn't pull them out.
How many B-24s did we lose in the war?
I think there was 6,000 and something.
How many made it?
18 altogether. They built 18,000. Some of them.
Oh, so
They were the most built airplane in the history of the world of the war.
So you're saying 70% of them
I would say
never made
of
it.
the total war. That's in Europe and the Pacific, though.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Wow.
Oh yeah. Like I says, we were kind of a hand-picked bunch of a-holes. We were flyboys. We weren't just ordinary dumb shit running around on the ground with a gun or working on an airplane on the ground.
Right.
We were patented to fly in. So out of all the guys in the Pacific on our island, where there was 19,000 airmen out of 190,000 out of 6 million troops.
Oh, so 190,000 airmen
Only flyboys.
out of 6 million troops.
6 million total of Army, Air Corps, on the ground personnel, fighting, shooting each other on the ground, but not flying.
Right.
We flew. In other words, we were considered flyboys.
And there was a crew of 10 on your flight.
Well, yeah, we used to be 9, then you added 10 because.
Tell me who's on the crew.
Huh?
Name the positions on the crew.
Knievel was
name the positions.
pilot, co-pilot, navigator, bombardier. Those are 4 commissioned officers.
Okay.
Then there was a Sperry ball gunner. No, there was the crew chief, which I mean not crew chief, the flyboy engineer was me, and then the radio operator. Then there was the Sperry ball tail gunner, and then there was 2 waist gunners. 6 enlisted men as gunners, radio men, and I was the rank non-com.
Do you remember the names of all your crew?
Yeah.
What name them off now?
Knievel, Dunlap, what the hell was his name? Frank? Wait a minute. I missed
Drevlo.
Huh?
Drevlo.
There was Drevlo. He was Frank Drevlo from Southern Cal. He was
Right.
one of the waist gunners. Then there was Dunlap was our bombardier. I mean our navigator. What the hell was our little? He was a little guy, a little older than the rest of us. He was our bombardier. Johnny Gavel was our bombardier. Al Corey, flight engineer, upper turret. What the hell was his name? The radio operator. No shit, he lived in Massachusetts. And then there was a kid on the Sperry ball. He was from Duncansville, Pennsylvania. What the hell was his name now? I know them all. And then Frank Drevlo was. I can't remember the other 2, although I know who they were. They were both from. One was from. I used to know them all, shit, by their names.